Hello everyone, welcome to the Young Cynics channel. I'm Tyrone, and today we're going to be going through another bracket tournament of the greatest superhero movies of all time. So I have picked 32 movies and ranked them based on mostly IMDb numbers and box office results, and compiled them from 1 to 32. And they'll be showing down, and today we'll be joined by our host of this tournament, Jack.
Thank you. I also like to be called the taller Grant Denyer. Or the hostess with the mostest.
The shorter Dr. Chris Brown.
Either or's fine.
Yeah. And then we've got Harry as well.
Howdy, howdy, let's get rowdy.
Oh, Jesus.
And Adam.
You've lost.
Yes, I'm back.
Excellent.
Due to popular demand.
So Jack, this is actually going to be, depending on how another certain video goes, your first actual exposure to the Young Cynics YouTube channel. So please just introduce yourself. Give us a morsel of your life.
Wow, I am honoured. Thank you for that small little introduction. Wow, I feel like I'm accepting an Emmy. All I want in life is to make it on the Young Cynics.
Well, this is a massive moment.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to say I make a mean cup of Ribena, and that's about all my talents.
Okay, do you want to take it away, Jack, with our first round?
Okay. What is this tournament, just to start?
You already said greatest superhero movies of all time.
I wasn't listening.
Based on their merit as film, Harry, so if you want to go on your stupid comic book rants, leave it for another video.
Well, actually, the comic is the source material, so a lot of it's indented in the film, so, like, good luck trying to sever them.
Shut up.
Oh, God. All right, Jack.
Wow, it's going to be tough to continue after that. Okay, first round starts off pretty dark movies. The classic Dark Knight versus Megamind.
Oh.
Are they good?
Shit.
Are they bad? Nobody knows.
Yeah, fair enough. Dark Knight. I love Megamind. I love Megamind a lot, but Dark Knight.
Come on. Even just for the line where he says presentation and Highway to Hell starts playing.
I love Megamind is... Ugh. Might be my second favorite animated superhero movie, like on a big scale. Yeah. But it's the Dark Knight.
Harold?
It's probably ranking in at my, like, third or fourth large scale animated superhero flick, but like Dark Knight, it's superb.
It's the Dark Knight.
It's gonna be
other person. Sorry,
going
Adam?
down to the end.
Yeah, I didn't expect or wanted to knock out Megamind this early, but yeah, gotta have to go to Dark Knight as well.
Okay. Your opinions can be and are wrong, but we'll continue. Next, we've got two, very different kind of people. The Mighty Superman and Vampire Slaying Blade. Who weighs in where here?
Is this the classic Superman?
Yeah, Richard Donner.
Yeah.
Classic Superman.
Yes.
Okay.
I love the classic Richard Donner movie. I know you're making that face, Harry, but I love that movie so much. It's like everything I want out of a superhero movie. And from the 70s, and the John Williams score, and the direction, and Christopher Reeves, and Margot Kidder. Sure, the world's spinning. And Blade is amazing. This is a really hard one, but I'm gonna pick Superman.
Okay. Tidy whities for Tyrone.
Oh, you see, Superman in my eyes hasn't held up as well. Its cultural impact is so much greater.
Yeah.
But in terms of which one's a greater film itself, Wesley Snipes' Blade is just... It's a whole new genre of superheroics that we haven't really seen touched since. We've seen so many Supermen, great heroes saving the world. Blade is just its own thing, so it's got to go Blade for me.
Aren't they creating a new one sometime soonish?
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali.
Ooh, looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
Ow!
Adam?
Fuck.
What's
this
your
is
vote?
difficult.
It's down to you, Adam.
It comes down to you.
As
Your
per
vote will decide this. Do you
I
need to
do
grab
like
out
them
the
both
coin?
a lot. Oh, fuck. I've probably seen Superman like a fair bit more, and I find it like more charming. Like I like to watch it. I do love Blade. Like it's a great movie and it's very different to everything else. But
Superman's the OG.
You are not.
yeah, I'm going with Superman. I have to go. Superman.
Yale.
Okay.
Harry
okay.
is disgusted.
2 rounds down.
No
This
comment.
is definitely going to be a tough one for you guys. And the best part about it is I can't say all of the title, so it's called Spider-Man Into the Spider. So you got Spider-Verse and Civil War, 2 massive team-up movies,
Oh, no.
almost like the peak of animation versus the peak of live action.
Oh shit.
What do you
I
prefer,
think
Marvel or Marvel?
At this certain point in the competition, I'm gonna take Spider-Verse.
Is that because you feel guilty for knocking out Megamind and in all its animated gloriness?
Yeah, that's partially why. But I think just as a film in general, I think Civil War does try to juggle a few too many plot points, and not all of them are as interesting as the other one. Although it's still a great film, I think it's not perfect, and Spider-Verse pretty much is perfect, I'd say.
Oh, shit.
Harold? Adam? Get away.
Defer to Adam because Spider-Verse got knocked out. I mean, the animated bracket's going to be up by now, but Spider-Verse got knocked out without hesitation. Like,
Well, it was The Lion King, though.
Yeah.
yeah, Adam, I gotta think. You go.
Alright. Shit, this is really hard. These movies are both great. I really like them both a lot. I think they both have the same problem. The villain is the weakest part. Like,
So pick the one with
For
Spider-Man.
No,
What's-
completely disagree.
you
Completely disagree.
You don't think the villain's the weakest part in both?
No, because Daniel Bruhl in Civil War is a genuinely good and smart villain, and
Kingpin is
Yeah, I
terrible.
know, but
Kingpin, Kingpin is a great villain as well.
Liev Schreiber is so dominating in his voice
I'm not saying that they're
acting.
bad. I just think they're like the weakest part of the movies themselves. That's what I feel.
No, I find the Bucky storyline of Civil War to be it sometimes takes precedent over a greater conflict. I think that's to me the only and kind of the tonal shifts between them. I wouldn't say the villain is, but yeah.
Yeah. Shit, this is really hard. I think purely for rewatchability, I'm gonna go Spider-Verse. This is really hard. I'm. Yeah, I'll go Spider-Verse.
You want to lock it in, Eddie? Yeah. Okay, 2 for
We're locking it
Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
So, Harry,
think-
your vote doesn't matter, like usual. But, what do you
What it
prefer?
comes down to in my mind is Civil War is the sum of its parts that's come before and that will come after. Spider-Man is just, it introduces everything, it concludes everything. As a film, it's perfect. Civil War is really great, but it's built up by other things before it. So I think as an individual film, it's got to go to Spider-Verse, as much as I love Civil War. And it's so rough
Even
to see
with-
it knocked out first round. So rough.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
Oh.
Even with Ant-Man fanning out over all the Avengers.
Hey, listen,
That is an amazing
Yeah.
moment.
that's a
Paul
great
Rudd
scene.
is great, but John Mulaney might be
Good
just
point.
as good.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one would be an interesting matchup to say fight. The Avengers versus Bruce Willis. Or
Yeah.
the Avengers versus Unbreakable. Because I reckon Bruce Willis is in with a shot.
I mean, if
Alright.
he's from Die Hard, he can't be killed, so...
Unbreakable's my favorite Shyamalan film. However, The Avengers is my favorite MCU film.
However,
Is it?
Shyamalan
Oh, yeah, it
also
is.
did Avatar, The Last Airbender.
I
Not-
think
this isn't related to anything, I just really wanted to throw that in there.
just for significance at the time of its release, and just kind of how every film has tried to ape what it's done since. And I think the Avengers to me is kind of just this perfect mashup of all of these characters, which are so different, and they all come together. And that New York battle is absolutely stunning. And I love the helicarrier stuff because it's simply the characters just back and forth for 40 minutes. And there's that great bit of teamwork with fixing the helicarrier. So I'm going to pick the first Avengers.
Okay. What have you got for us, Adam?
I do like the Avengers a lot, but I don't watch it nearly as much as I have like the other Avengers movies. Like Infinity War is probably my favorite Avengers movie.
Do you watch Age of Ultron more than the first Avengers?
Oh yeah, no, forget that. Yeah, no, Age of Ultron definitely not. But Unbreakable, I love Unbreakable. I think it's a great movie. It was ruined by its by Glass, in a way, but I'm gonna go Unbreakable. I'm gonna let Harry decide who goes through.
Comes down to you.
Like, Unbreakable's
What
great.
do you prefer?
I personally don't think that Glass ruins it. It just kind of puts a full stop on it, and it's like I would have liked to see more from these characters. And as great as Unbreakable is, the Avengers bring so many pieces into the fold for the first film of its kind, and it works. Like, that movie might be one of my most watched Marvel movies just because the spectacle, and it just feels something on its own. No, like, all the other Marvel movies feel like a Marvel movie, but the Avengers just feels like something else, so it's gotta be the Avengers. I'm sorry, Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson, but looks like...
Well, Samuel L. Jackson is in the Avengers.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I
was really hoping that would be harder and would tear you apart more, but that's fine.
I guess they weren't so unbreakable after all.
Jesus Christ. I hate you so much.
He shattered like glass. It really hasn't split the crowd. The Last Airbender.
Oh my
I
god.
was the bad puns guy.
I can't even give you a
What
pity
is
laugh
this?
anymore.
Okay. Jeez. Let's take a moment to just get over that. So we had Avengers, then we're going to go to the end of it with Endgame versus Black Panther.
Endgame.
Do you want to think about that?
No.
Is it unanimous?
Well,
Yes.
Black Panther
Should
does a lot for the Marvel movies, diverting away
It does a lot.
from...
It does a lot in the third quarter of the film.
It's a great first two acts. I think it falls apart towards the third act,
Yeah.
where the CGI catches up and everything. But just the emotional stakes of Endgame. It's the end of this huge saga. Infinity War is the action end, and like you've got the emotional end following straight after it. So, as great as Black Panther is in my eyes, I have to lean towards Endgame.
Okay, unanimous Endgame. Deadpool, Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Oh,
Both
Winter
are very
Soldier.
different.
Deadpool is so overrated. Winter Soldier's perfect.
Deadpool's like really good, but Winter Soldier is that was kind of the turning point for the MCU after Thor: The Dark World and Iron Man 3 kind of like split audiences a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Winter Soldier as well. Definitely.
It's definitely good that I'm not voting because I would be throwing this off so much. Now we got the extreme emotion versus extreme comedy. So depend where your loyalties lie here. Logan or Kick-Ass?
I haven't seen Kick-Ass in a very long time.
Oh,
I did
Logan.
enjoy it when I watched it, but
Yeah.
Logan, so much more impactful. Remember it, like nearly every scene. So gotta be Logan.
Yep.
I
Just the
think
thought of Hugh Jackman dying is too emotional.
Yeah.
Kick-Ass is probably the most different film we've seen on this list so far. It seems
Yeah.
a lot more real and a lot grittier, But Logan is this swan song to Hugh Jackman's career as Wolverine and Patrick Stewart as Professor X, and it kicks so much ass. It's got to be Logan.
Yeah.
Okay, this will be an interesting one. Semi-retro round. In terms of Batman 89 versus the original Spider-Man.
Oh
no.
Look, I think... Oh, shit, hang on. Well, I was about to go straight for 89, but then I remembered that Spider-Man, that original trilogy was, my favorite thing growing up.
Yeah.
But I think Spider-Man had a better sequel. And I think... And the first film is still great. I think Batman 89 is kind of what revolutionized the superhero genre as a whole. Kind of... And it is kind of underappreciated for its effect of making superheroes an actual gritty, realistic sort of thing through the 90s and through the 2000s to what we have now. So I'm going to go Batman 89.
Adam?
You want to go, Adam?
What have we got?
This is tough. I watched both of these movies a lot when I was younger. I think I agree with Tyrone, though, that Spider-Man 2 is better than the first one. I watched that more than the first Spider-Man. And I love Batman 89. Jack Nicholson's performance is really, really good. Prince's, music for the movie is great.
Oh my god. Party, man.
Yeah.
Which one was Kiss from a Rose for? Was that...
What?
Kiss from a Rose was written for one of those Batman movies. I think it was Forever.
Surely not.
No. You're thinking about...
Are you sure, Harry?
No, that's
so.
Seal.
Yeah, that
You're thinking
but
about the
he
Prince
did write
one.
That. It's Batman Forever.
Did he?
Kiss from a Rose.
Batman Forever.
God, I did not know
The
that.
music video is in that Gotham.
Oh
That
my
was
god,
amazing.
I did not know that.
Never knew that.
But anyway, back to point. I think I'm going to have to go with Taron. I'm going to go Batman 89 as well.
I'm going to have to disagree with you there, boys. Raimi Spider-Man, aside from Tobey Maguire being 40 playing a teenager, that movie is so great. You got Flash Thompson played by Joe Manganiello, who is a heartthrob looking like a schlub in that movie. And Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn is so terrifying. No kid was not scared of him breaking in the Oscorp meeting. So it's got to be Raimi's Spider-Man for me. It doesn't mean anything.
I'm a scientist myself.
And the meme potential as well.
The meme potential is fantastic.
Too late.
Joker and Shazam.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
DC versus Marvel.
Both
I
of
would
these
like
surprised me in
to-
a different way. I liked Shazam more than I thought I would, and I liked Joker less than I thought I would.
But that, evens out.
Yeah, they're both very even for me. But I think I like rewatching Shazam more because I find it more fun. And Joker was good. The third act was the best part of the movie. It ended really well. But I'm going to go Shazam because it surprised me and I liked it more than I thought I would. And Joker let me down.
Okay. That's one for Shazam. Harold?
I think one of them hit the mark and another one was the greatest film of all time for some people, and for everyone else it was just another movie.
Yeah.
Shazam was it was pure. It was exactly what it needed to be. And Joker was supposed to be this deep, thoughtful deconstruction of the Joker that was a sad clown who locks himself in the fridge and imagines himself getting with the lady down the hall and drops a gun at a kid's hospital.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot going on and not a lot of it meshed, so I'm going to go Shazam purely for Zachary Levi and his body.
I'd probably say I'd watched Shazam more times than Joker. And Shazam, yeah, of course, is a lot more fun and a better pure superhero movie. Just a film in general, though, I'd probably say that the third act of Joker is what would take it for me, so I'd probably go Joker in that case. But
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Well, it doesn't matter.
I guess Joker gets what it fucking deserves.
There we go.
Okay, just because I know how much you love the animated versus live action rounds, we're going back with... Ooh, this will be a tough one, actually. The Incredibles
Oh, right.
and X-Men Days of Future Past.
Oh,
Listen, I'll lead here. I'm probably the biggest Disney guy here. Tyrone might argue that I'm not, but I think I am.
no, I wouldn't argue that.
Okay, good. Days of Future Past is so great. It's the first Disney Plus movie with an uncensored butt, and I don't need to make more of a case. It's Days of Future Past for me.
Whose butt is it?
Hugh Jackman's.
Oh, yeah, that should sell it for all of you.
Yeah, I think The Incredibles is a great family story, but I think that the execution of Days of Future Past is one of the most perfect executions of time travel I've seen in a movie, and that speaks a lot because I do love a lot of time travel in my movies when it's done well, and Days of Future Past is without a doubt one of the best examples of that. And Wolverine is fucking awesome in that movie. Magneto steals the show in the third act. I think I just love the climax of Days of Future Past so much, where it's literally just a speech from... there's just that triangle going on between Magneto, Mystique, and Professor X, and they're going to kill Peter Dinklage. And I think just kind of how all of the morals and how it's all played out in speech is just fantastic. And I think, I'm going to take Days of Future Past. As much as I love The Incredibles, Days of Future Past has a lot more going on.
Adam, it doesn't matter what you say now, but we'll hear it anyway.
I do love The Incredibles, but I'm slapping childhood me in the face. I'm going to have to go Days of Future Past as well.
Really? None of you went Incredibles?
Yeah, I love The Incredibles, but I can't put it past this movie.
No.
Okay, that was...
You would, I can see Jack's very
childhood.
shocked.
That hits right in the nostalgia.
And the Quicksilver scene in Days of Future Past.
Oh, that was excellent.
the potential for doing that in The Incredibles. Where were you, Brad Bird?
So you want to recreate the Quicksilver scene with Dash in The Incredibles? That's what you're saying.
Oh, maybe in the first one if they did it, it would probably have been more fun with Dash instead of Quicksilver.
Okay.
Him running on water for the first time, though, is a great moment, but it's nothing next to Quicksilver.
No.
The next round we got Spider-Man 2 versus the Rocketeer, which I don't know about space launch. No one really knows.
Okay, I'm going to guess. I'm going to guess I'm the only one who's seen the Rocketeer.
Yes.
I'm going to
Okay.
guess you're correct.
That's it. Yeah, it's. Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fine little 90s movie. Good heart, good soul, everything. But yeah, Spider-Man 2 is one of the greatest. So I'm going Spider-Man 2 easy.
It's this little bubble of nostalgia that I mean, we didn't live through it, so I don't know how it's nostalgia. But it's it's a nice little pocket of what it is. But Spider-Man 2, Doc Ock is one of the greatest supervillains of all time, and it's got Joel McHale before he had hair plugs. What's not to love?
Is my forehead that big?
Okay, Adam, before you vote, I would like to read you the synopsis of it. A stunt pilot comes across a prototype jetpack that gives him the ability to fly. However, evil forces of the world also want this jetpack at any cost.
Timothy Dalton plays a Nazi.
I'm very intrigued.
Our prices are criminal.
There you go.
Lock me
James
up.
Bond is a Nazi.
Fighting over a jetpack with Nazis or Spider-Man 2?
Well, I have to go Spider-Man 2 by default because I haven't seen Rocketeer, but I probably would have picked Spider-Man 2 because it's one of my favourite superhero movies, so yeah, Spider-Man 2.
Fine, if you want to be that guy.
You haven't seen it either.
We got two different origin stories here. Both DC. Batman Begins or Wonder Woman?
I think I've got to go, because we're going to have another Batman contender in this trilogy that's going to knock it out in an instant. I think Wonder Woman needs some representation, and I really enjoy Wonder Woman. I don't know how well Batman Begins holds up as part of that trilogy. I'm going Wonder Woman because I love Professor Lupin as a as a big, muscly god of war.
Are you serious?
Yes.
No, Harry's hate of Batman Begins is kind of weird to me. I think that movie is consistently great throughout the whole run.
Oh, I know I'm going to lose, but...
Liam Neeson makes her a great villain. I think that, yeah, sure, the third act is kind of dumb and a bit over the top compared to the next two Batman films, but...
You think
I
your
think
third act is dumb? Whoa. Back off, dude.
Yeah, that's what... Yeah,
Back
exactly. Yeah, I have to go with Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Who's the villain in that one?
In what? Batman Begins?
Yeah.
Well, you got Liam Neeson and you got Scarecrow.
No.
Who's he playing,
you've got Scarecrow. He's not... he's some ninja man. He's not Ra's al Ghul. Okay, I could... What's the Wonder Woman? He's the god of war.
Ares,
right. No, I'm picking Batman Begins.
I'm going
Mr.
Batman Begins
Ra's al
too
Ghul.
because I was enjoying Wonder Woman. I was watching it. It was okay, but then it got to the third act and it was just a giant fucking
And I'd say
CGI
even,
mess, and I did not like it at all.
Yeah, and even before the third act for me, I still would take Batman Begins.
Yeah, same probably.
Well, just for the record, his name is... It's Henri, so like Henry or Henry.
Henri.
Why are you even bothering
Ducard.
to remember?
So technically he's not Ra's al Ghul. Like, maybe he takes up the mantle, but he's actually someone else. So, like, I just wanted you guys to know that you're wrong. Okay?
Okay, on to the next round. We
Yeah,
got
thank
four
you, Jack.
left. Four left for the first round. We got the second, well, the one before the big Endgame, Infinity War, versus the sci-fi thriller Chronicle. Where
Oh,
do
you got Chronicle in here.
Do
I
you
was not
go
expecting
the
that.
Marvel stream or the
I love my
edgy
trank.
other
The Trank
superhero?
stream. The Trank stream.
Back on trank.
The Trank Train.
It's...
Adam, what
do
have
we
you
need
got?
to have this conversation?
Yeah, look, Chronicle's a good little indie movie, but it
I love
pales in comparison to Infinity War, I reckon. Like, Infinity War, it was so much better than I thought it would be, because I had to jumble so many characters, and it was just great. Thanos is fantastic in it, so I'm gonna go Infinity War.
Harold?
Yeah, like, it's the best found footage movie ever, but
I'd say so, yeah.
it's...
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's nothing next to Infinity War.
No.
No.
I really love Chronicle, but yeah. Like, yeah, definitely my favourite found footage movie ever, but yeah, Infinity War.
There we
It's
go.
just Infinity War.
Unanimous. X2 or Thor Ragnarok?
That's really hard.
The
That's
Man
really
of
hard.
Thunder or the XMEN of
I remember
Wonder?
really liking
Okay,
X2,
no,
but
no.
I honestly haven't seen it in a
I
very
think-
long time.
I think that X2 might, from start to finish, be perfect. However, with Thor Ragnarok, there's a lot more faults to be found with the cutting to Kate Blanchett and the boring Asgard plot as well, which I think ultimately detracts from that, because it's like you're having a great time on Sakaar with Jeff Goldblum and Thor and Loki, and it's so much fun. And then you cut back to her, and it's just like, oh, she's having fun, but it's boring.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, X-Men 2 is kind of just brilliant.
More
and
consistent.
The relationship between Charles and Magneto is just perfect in that film, and the best one. So I'm going to take X2.
Anyone else weigh in?
Nope.
I'll probably have to agree with Taro there. I haven't seen X2 in a long time, but I love it. I should probably revisit it again. And I agree with the faults that Taron has with Thor Ragnarok, so I'm going to go X2.
Hey, Adam, who's the villain in X2?
Oh shit, what's the name?
Humanity.
Do you know who he is though, right? Like the guy.
Yeah. No, I actually haven't seen it in a very long time though.
I was really hoping you'd be like, Magneto? And we'd be like, okay, there's your credibility out the window.
Oh yeah, and there's just two scenes which to me are better than pretty much everything in Ragnarok, which is the opening Nightcrawler scene and of course the mansion fight.
Yeah, like Taika might be my favorite director, and I love everything he puts his spin on. And I think personally the highs in Ragnarok are higher than X2, but X2 is so consistently great. It's one.
Yeah.
It seems like just one vision from beginning to end, and Taika is a little bit more all over the place. And yeah, with Hela, who is fine as far as Marvel villains go, but you want to be back at the action. And that opening Nightcrawler scene is so good. So it's got to be X2.
Yeah.
Okay, that was... Ooh. Sorry, Anne. Couple more to go. This one will definitely be tough because they're the staples in their universes. And both excellent movies.
Right.
You got The Dark Knight Rises and Iron Man.
Oh. Okay.
Your confusion intrigues me.
Should Adam start? Because we both look like we're thinking a lot.
I'm in an R.
Go for it,
Adam,
Adam.
what have you got?
Otherwise, Jack pad for us. What are your thoughts?
Well... No, Adam's got something to say.
The Dark Knight, I like it, but the more I watch it, the more problems I think I have with it. And I think Iron Man, this is the first Iron Man, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Kickstarter for the MCU, Robert Downey Jr.'s performance, his charisma, this is hard. I think I want to say Iron Man, but I keep...
I'm on the thing where I want to say Iron Man. However, I just think of The Dark Knight Rises and just on a filmmaking standpoint, it's kind of superb.
Yeah,
and it's brilliantly done.
But does that make it better than Iron Man? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm struggling because here's the thing. Iron Man's like my 7th or 8th favorite MCU film. Like, I definitely really like it, but I just think there were better adventures, stories down the way. Meanwhile, I think with Dark Knight Rises, it's an odd one, but just in terms of a film, I'd probably say Dark Knight Rises. So that's my piece. It's a very 50-50 go for me.
I think in terms of content and plot, they're probably relatively on par, but I think Christopher Nolan's spin is very evident. It looks Nolan, and the score is just brilliant.
Oh, brilliant.
Especially when he's coming out of the pit, it's just, it all swells at the right time.
Yeah, no, the score from the first Iron Man movie is
so
fine.
unmemorable.
I remember bits of the first.
It's like most of the Marvel movies, the scores.
Exactly, yeah. Only the Avengers scores and maybe the Winter Soldier one have real memorable ones.
So I think these are both similar centers, but Dark Knight Rises is gold plated, and Jon Favreau is a great director, but it's not sort of special enough, I feel.
No.
These are both great movies, but Dark Knight Rises hasn't for me.
I think you've both changed. Help me make up my mind.
Sheep.
And because I think with Iron Man, it's less rewatchable in that Rhodes, it's not even the same actor. I can't remember his name. I know what his name is, but I can't remember.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah. Wait, is that his name?
The guy from
Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a clean sweep there for Dark Knight Rises then.
What's the last one, Jackie?
We're up to the final grouping for the first round. So pretty much this is the last easy one you'll get. It'll just get harder and harder from here.
Great.
You've got Guardians of the Galaxy versus Spider-Man Homecoming.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
So the team that nobody knew about that was made famous, or the classic Marvel hero.
I really
Finally got
like
the return.
I really like Spider-Man: Homecoming, but I love Guardians of the Galaxy.
I like them a lot, almost the same, but I think visually, Guardians of the Galaxy is so much better to look at, like a lot better, and the chemistry between all of them, introducing all of them, I think I'll have to go Guardians as well.
Well, Harry, the pressure's off you now. What you say doesn't matter, but what's your opinion?
I mean, if I disagree, it doesn't matter. I think Spider-Man as a character is better than any of the Guardians. Like, Peter Parker,
Yeah.
Tom Holland is just, like, he's so enthralling as a character. But that said, like, the Vulture's good, but the plot around them both is a bit subpar. Guardians of the Galaxy just, it chugs along just so quick, and by the moment you get a chance to breathe, you're like, it's over. Wow, that was so much. So even though it has the second worst Marvel villain of all time,
Yeah, that's fair to say.
Oh no, I wouldn't say second.
The
worst.
characters shine.
Malekith,
The main character.
then Ronan are the worst too. Like, it's got to be Guardians.
I'd
Just
say
for the
Captain
soundtrack
Marvel's
alone.
villain and Ant-Man and the Wasp's villain. I think they're the two worst villains, probably.
No, I think Ant-Man and the Wasp villain had a bit more going on.
Yeah.
It's
I think
very
Jude-
boring.
They weren't a threat.
Jude Law
No.
at least looked good.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah, I
Dumbledore
guess.
good, but still up there.
Okay. First round, round 2. Big staples for DC. The two heavy hitters. You got The Dark Knight and Superman. Who wins it for you?
I've already said
Original
my piece
Superman.
about Superman. Dark Knight is the pinnacle of DC's work to date. In film, that is. It's got to be Dark Knight.
Yeah, as much as I love Superman and the score and the performance, The Dark Knight, it's my favorite Batman movie. It's Heath Ledger's Joker. It's got everything. So The Dark Knight.
Yep.
Tyrone?
Real Dark Knight.
Well, that was a lot easier than I thought it would be. Okay, heading on to the ultimate team-up movie, The Avengers, versus the incredibly animated Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Fuck.
First of all, how
Okay.
dare you?
How dare I?
That's really hard. Shit.
Okay, Harry, weigh in. What have you got?
Like, Avengers is... I think they're both the pinnacles of their field. I think that's the issue. I think, personally, I enjoy Spider-Verse more, so I'm not sure how that weighs into which one's better.
We pay you to make decisions, not flounder. Tyrone,
I don't
what
get
have you got?
paid. What are you talking about?
Oh my god. This is
Too
really...
much hesitation. Adam, what have you got?
My gut is telling me Spider-Verse, and I don't want to think about it too long, so I'm just going to go Spider-Verse.
Thank you. There's an answer.
Wow.
Okay, which one of you two is ready to give us something solid?
I'm actually going to take the Avengers.
It's all down to you, Harry.
Ooh.
This is all resting on your shoulders.
You know what? The heart wants what the heart wants. I'm sorry, Tyrone, but I gotta go into the Spider-Verse.
Next bracket, both MCU. We got The End of the Games versus The Cold Soldier.
Ooh.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, as much as like Endgame gets right with like the emotional
have a lot more-
beats and
yeah.
everything, I think Winter Soldier it's a better film. Like Endgame is a really good comic book movie, but I think Winter Soldier is a better film. And like,
I have a lot more flaws with Endgame than I do
Yeah.
Winter Soldier.
I'm with Taran going Winter Soldier.
Hey, don't tell me the odds of a rat jumping on a button that
Yeah, I know.
send Ant-Man out.
Hey,
That's
that's
likely,
the future
okay?
Doctor Strange saw. All his bets are on that rat.
Harry?
I mean, for what it achieves alone, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, even though it means nothing. Like, Endgame just does so much, and it spearheads the end of this saga, and from now on, we're moving into a more Jake Gyllenhaal state of mind. So I gotta go Endgame for what it does to Barf in the next movie, and for what Hawkeye's haircut does for all of our eyes. Oh, he's dreamy.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Jack.
The buzz cut sides. Okay. Logan, emotional, tragic. Batman 89, nostalgic, epic.
Logan.
Yeah, I think Logan's a better movie. Like, yeah, I don't know. As much as I love
Same
Batman
as-
89, I think Logan's just, oh, it's fucking great. I love it. So Logan.
Logan is flawless in my eyes. It's got to be Logan. I love Hugh Jackman. Logan.
That was so sad.
You guys are supposed to be struggling more with these ones, but you seem to be getting
I feel like
faster.
after the first round, it gets easier.
It does get
sometimes.
quicker, yeah.
Yeah,
Some of them
'cause
are
you know
really
where
hard.
You stand. You don't have to reintroduce yourself to these movies.
Okay. We got SHAZAM versus Hugh Jackman's butt. X-Men Days of Futures Past.
Days of Future Past.
Yeah, no. The third act of Shazam, like, most of it's really good, then the third act kind of, like, falls back into, like, the usual superhero movie, just versing the monster.
But then they become a superhero family.
Yeah,
And I think that's super.
Hugh Jackman's butt wins the cake, so...
You see, there's a lot for me to break down. Because there's really not anything for me to break down. It's Days of Future Past. It's
That's too easy,
it's
isn't that?
the
Yeah.
best of two different eras of X-Men. You've got the originals, you've got the new ones, and they're all at their peak. So, like, I'm sorry, Shazam. I'm sorry, Billy Batson. I'm sorry, Henry Cavill without his head. But you're
Oh my
out of
god.
here.
Oh, that was fucking great.
Okay, we have the so-called best superhero movie of all time, again, Spider-Man 2,
Oh.
versus the beginnings of Batman in Batman Begins.
Spider-Man 2, I think. I think Spider-Man 2, just for me personally, I think it's just... Yeah, if I were to pick a weak link out of the Dark Knight trilogy, for me it's Batman Begins. Meanwhile, if I were to pick my favourite Marvel movie ever, Spider-Man... Or my favourite superhero movie ever for that time, Spider-Man 2 would be pretty up there, I think.
Yeah, I think
I
Batman...
think it's just kind of perfect.
Batman Begins is still finding its feet a little, and Spider-Man 2 is just fucking awesome. Dr. Octopus, one of the best movie villains, so yeah, Dr. Octopus. You could have included Dr. Octopus in the villains bracket, couldn't we?
Was he going to win, though? Was he realistically going to win?
Well, probably not, but I think he
No.
deserved to
Hey,
mention.
he could have beat Hans Lander. Who knows?
No.
I mean,
Hans Lander, which
still-
I will defend that one for years to come.
I'm still waiting for Gandalf the White to come back and verse him.
That
for
was
the last
that was the
rounds.
hero.
You
That was the
promised that,
hero
and you
one,
never
you
delivered.
hey, he
dimwit.
did.
He did, exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about, so... But yeah, from me, it's got to be Spider-Man 2. Like, what's the competition here? I
Is
don't
it
know
purely
that.
for J. Jonah Jameson?
That's not even someone I've brought into this argument yet. So, like, in the next couple rounds,
Yeah.
Jay Jonah's he's gonna spearhead that movie. But yeah, next round, Spider-Man 2 has floored it.
Okay. This round we got two Marvel teams. Where do your allegiances lie? Infinity War, X2.
No.
Oh God.
Which team?
I'm going to go purely off memory,
Which does it for
because
you?
I haven't seen X2 in so long. I'm just going to go Infinity War. And I'll let you two hack it out.
Because I know one's a better film, but I know one's a better superhero film. And it's...
Um.
You're gonna break me.
You got 10 seconds.
I am going to.
In this time,
I'm going for the. I love this movie so much, but I'm going for the upset. I'm gonna pick X2.
No, you're supposed to make my decision easier.
that made your job so much
It's
harder.
weird. I think that X2 is just kind of this amazing moral showdown of sorts, and you know, it just builds beautifully to a final act. And as I said before, the Charles and Magneto dynamic is so perfect, and I love Infinity War and everything it does, but I think just the interpersonal stuff between the characters is just better done in X2.
Your points of morals and making a point definitely influenced me, but I think it might have.
I think it's fair
influenced
enough to
me.
go in.
Like, Thanos in that film is such a tyrant, but also you're like, he's going about this too much, but like, is he wrong? Like, there were people out there who weren't sure whether he was right or wrong. The shock factor of that movie and the fact that it's led by Thanos, who is such an enigmatic tyrant, I'm going to have to say Infinity War. As much as I love X-Men, and I love X-Men so much,
There we go.
and I love Lady
Infinity War.
Deathstrike, and I love William Stryker, and I love Nightcrawler, and I love Wolverine, and I love Cyclops, and I love Jean Grey,
Uh-oh, hang
and I
on.
love Storm, and I love...
It's turning here.
Oh,
Me.
I don't love Adam.
How
I
much do you
not
love
Adam.
Deadpool with his mouth shut?
That's... what?
What are you talking about, you idiot?
Oh, this is why we
Different
don't...
movie, but you were going through all the X-Men.
They were all in that movie, though.
Which one was that? Was that Origins?
Yes.
Yes.
Tyrone, why do we invite
Move
him
on.
to our things?
Move on, move on, move on, move on.
Okay, we got, for the last bracket of round 2, The Dark Knight Rises and The Guardians.
Guardians.
I'm going to go Devil's Advocate and Dark Knight Rises out the gate.
Gotham City.
I'm going Dark Knight
Universes.
Rises as well.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going just purely on film as well. I know that Dark Knight Rises might have plot holes, but I think just as a film, it's done better.
I enjoy
and
watching...
also villain as well. Dark Knight Rises has such a great villain.
As kind of
compared to
wonky
Guardians.
Bane's voice is, he's a great villain.
Yes.
There will be a reckoning, and it will be Guardians out of this round.
No!
All right, Jackie boy.
Dark Knight versus Spider-Verse.
Spider-Verse.
Oh,
I'm
I
just
think-
going Spider-Verse.
I think this is one Spider-Verse
I'm going
can't beat. And I'm gonna have
Dark
to go
Knight,
Dark
yeah.
Knight.
As great as Spider-Verse is, the Dark Knight.
Are you sure?
Harry, why
Are you
Spider-Verse?
sure?
Yes.
Yes.
It's so
No, I
visually
don't think there's-
stimulating, and the plot.
I don't think there's anything that could change
And
my mind from
characters.
Spider-Verse.
The Dark Knight
over
is my
Dark
most
Knight.
most watched superhero movie.
Is Batman an interesting character in that movie, or is
Yes.
Joker taking the spotlight?
No, Batman
think
is an
Batman's still
interesting character
interesting.
in that movie.
Have you ever felt more emotional in a superhero movie than Into the Spider-Verse?
Yes.
Aside from
When
Logan.
Logan died.
Yeah, Logan.
When Captain America got his happy ending.
Name one scene in The Dark Knight that sends chills down your spine more than Miles taking his leap of faith.
That scene where Batman and Joker are in the prison cell, or the scene where the Joker is hanging off the building, or the opening scene with Joker raiding the bank, or the scene where Batman is standing over the burning, or the scene where they're running in the cop cars to get Maggie
Tyrone,
Gyllenhaal
give
and
him
Harvey
mercy.
Dent.
They're all cool scenes, but
All of
none of them...
all of those scenes are more powerful than that
It's
final
r-
scene. I mean, I
him jumping
love
off
the
is...
I love You Gotta Go Home, Man.
No,
but
I'm
The
not
Dark
talking
Knight.
about the Collider. I'm talking about his leap of faith off the building.
How about the shoulder touch and the...
Oh, that's awesome, of course.
It's the one
We're
of the
not discrediting Spider-Verse at all, but I think
Brilliant.
just the Dark Knight is better.
You guys.
I think you're
sleeping
probably
on
you're
Spider-Verse.
yeah. I know I'm sleeping on Spider-Verse, but I mean the last time it got taken out by Lion King, this time it gets taken out by Dark Knight. I think
I don't want to make.
sometimes
this,
you just gotta
I
look
don't
at
want to
it.
make this a bigotry thing, but like.
Hey guys, I'm just cutting this next bit out because Harry, a white man, proceeded to race bait a mixed race person and someone who is equally as white as he is. So you do the math on this one. I'm sorry you get to miss out on his genius socio-political racial rant, but I think it's for the best.
Harry, I am cutting this completely out.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
you
exposing you guys. Jack, support me here.
Harry, shut the
I think you found a bloopers video.
Oh my god.
Just posted anonymously.
Jack, just-
White
just-
boy rants.
Alright. Jack.
So moving on, we've got Captain America Winter Soldier up against a heartfelt, emotional Logan.
It's Logan.
Would you care to explain?
No.
As much
I
as
think
Winter Soldier,
I think Logan as
Okay.
well.
yeah, Winter Soldier is one of my favorite Marvel movies, but I can't put it past Logan. I'm gonna have to go Logan as well.
Any of you care to explain?
Just
No.
Johnny Cash hurt. I mean, it's in the trailer, not the movie, but that song.
Such a good teaser trailer.
The last
Like-
time Johnny Cash hurt me this much was in Barnyard. I won't back down. Oh, that still gets me emotional.
That's a really funny movie. Especially
I had that
when-
movie
when
on
it was
DVD.
back down. Move it
Okay,
along,
please,
Reed.
let's move on.
Yeah, come on, Jack.
Okay, we got X-Men Days of Future Past, Spider-Man 2.
Doff.
I'm gonna go Spider-Man 2 and let Tyrone decide this one.
I just Ian McKellen and Pat Stewart
Is
meeting McAvoy and Fassbender and Hugh Jackman tying it together. Like,
They don't meet though.
no,
We only
he's-
see Charles.
Charles speaks to younger
Charles peaks to future Charles.
and he's
Adam,
so broken,
Uh,
and then he
Purely based on the visual style and subjectivity, I'm going for Spider-Man 2.
there we go.
star.
Yep.
Will X-Men go through, and our last bracket for round 3. God damn it, another Batman one. Dark Knight Rises or Infinity War? What wins it for you?
Infinity War. I think Dark Knight Rises is the weakest of the trilogy, and Infinity War just purely like being in the cinema, seeing it for the first time, and that ending, just fucking shocking, like pure shock. So I'm gonna go
Sit in there
Infinity
for
War.
10 minutes thinking what happened.
I think Infinity War is the ultimate product of the MCU. As a whole sort of puzzle, it does the best and it does the most because every character gets their due. Like, Spider-Man's in there kicking ass, Iron Man's doing stuff, Doctor Strange, you see all these weird combinations that you never thought of, and it all clicks, and you're like, it's all been building to this, and somehow the Russos pulled it off. The Dark Knight Rises I love as a self-contained movie, but like, Infinity War is a spectacle in every interpretation.
Yeah.
Tyrone,
Yeah, I'm going Infinity War as well.
first matchup for the second last round. Dark Knight, Logan. Wolverine, Batman. DCEU.
Logan.
No, that's not part of the DCEU. DC Marvel.
I think these movies are both like pretty much perfect.
If I have to pick one though,
I'm gonna go the Dark Knight.
I think the relationship between Logan and Charles is one of the strongest dynamics in any film. Like, what they've been through and what they go through. And I mean, I haven't even thought of X-23 up until this point, but she's brilliant as well as like a legacy character. And like that final Berserker Rage scene where he's running through the woods, it's like, it's everything Wolverine at its peak. It's got to be Logan.
Everything you're saying, Harry, like, it makes me almost want to change my mind, but I think like Heath Ledger is just such a much better villain.
then
And-
Boyd Holbrook.
And then even Two-Face is like a really, really good secondary villain, like watching Harvey Dent become Two-Face and everything.
But how good's that stare down between Wolverine and like evil younger Hugh as he's like walking down the stairs, and then he has to go up to Charles and be like, "It wasn't me." Like, he's pleading with Charles as he's dying. It wasn't me. Like, it just
You're
hits
almost changing my
so
mind, Harry, but
hard.
I
And
can't.
Hard, isn't
the
it?
cross
Can't
at the
go
end,
past the Dark Knight.
she lifts the cross,
I-
puts it on its side.
Yeah, alright, move it on. Alright, I'm going
Who
Dark
did you pick,
Knight.
Darren?
Okay.
We'll go Dark Knight.
Oh. X.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Harry, but I think Dark Knight is just kind of, just that bit more perfect. And yeah, there's 2 villains in Dark Knight which are great. 2 Logans, 0.
Adam, care to change your vote?
No, we're sticking to Dark Knight.
Okay, we've got our first finalist. And for the second last bracket, Spider-Man 2 or Infinity War?
One's kind of like this so special to me in a subjective way, which is Spider-Man 2. But I think if I'm taking the best one of all time, I think that, just the way it's built up, the way it culminates, the way it ends. I think Thanos is a perfect villain. Of course, say what you will about Infinity War, about Endgame, but in that first film, he's pretty incredible.
Raindrops
there are
falling
small
on my head.
there are small pacing problems in Infinity War, which Spider-Man 2 doesn't have, but I think on the whole, I'm going to take Infinity War.
Adam, you seem keen to share or sing. We will happily take your answer in singing form.
This is really, really fucking hard.
I can make your decision easier if you want, Adam. Because I'm going to go Infinity War.
I think I'm
Care to
leaning.
justify?
I'm leaning with you guys as well. I think.
It's just your pride on the line now.
Yeah.
Depending what you pick. It's hard though. It's
Okay,
hard.
we're down
Ready
to
for
the
that
final
final?
2. I don't think either of these two have had a clean sweep through. There's always been some kind of debate along the way.
Yep.
Mostly Harry
it'll
debating
be a tough
against
one.
the Dark Knight.
Well,
Overrated.
Oh, here we go.
Explain
Pretty much.
why it's overrated.
No, don't, not yet. Jack,
it
introduce it
comes
first.
down to pretty well Batman versus the MCU. We've got Dark Knight versus Avengers Infinity War for the best superhero movie.
I think for me, this is kind of where I sit on the whole superhero thing as a whole. I think that Marvel, over the last 30 years, there was obviously that point in, like with Iron Man, where it kind of was the changing of who has the power, where the Marvel, or maybe even with Spider-Man, when it was like, okay, I think Marvel might have an upper hand on DC, like for the first time in a century almost of just media in general. And I think they've had how many attempts they've had, like XMEN movies, they've had Spider-Man movies, that have MCU movies, and all of those have been coming out over the last 15, 20 years. However, none of them, except for Logan, I'd argue, crossed that line from great superhero film to like this near transcendent film, which should be like, preserved and AFI, like top 100 or all that sort of stuff. But I'm going to take The Dark Knight simply because as a film, it is just a damn perfect piece. I can pick multiple faults with Infinity War. I can't pick faults with The Dark Knight. And I think it's just a perfect character piece on multiple characters. The Joker, Batman, Gordon, Harvey Two-Face. Meanwhile, with the Avengers, Iron Man's got a cool character. Thanos has got a cool character. But I think ultimately as films, I don't think they compare. And I think The Dark Knight is easily far better.
I think that one of these, like The Dark Knight, it's made out to be the first 100 out of 10 film, and there's no flaws at all. And I agree that it's great, but I think that it's got a couple issues here and there. Like they're both roughly the same length, but I feel watching Infinity War moves along a lot quicker, and I think in the end Infinity War is in itself a superhero movie. I think The Dark Knight is a film that has superhero characters in it, but it could perfectly work as a detective film or any sort of crime procedural, because it's just a rich man investigating a crazy man who wants to throw the city into chaos. I think the achievement of Infinity War is superheroes at its prime. It's a comic on the screen. It's so many just crossing over. It's 6 MacGuffins somehow working to its benefit. I think it, as a superhero film, it is the best of its kind. I think there's a place for The Dark Knight. I just don't know whether it's at the top of the superhero list. I think it's another list altogether.
Okay, that means it comes down to you, Adam. I will also give you a third option if you
I change it to G-Force.
the 1982 Swamp Thing.
Oh?
What?
No, I've seen it.
I thought you were going to put
Interesting
Force
choice.
in there.
So, Dark Knight or Infinity War?
I think I've
Because G-Force has already
I
won
think
our
I've
hearts.
voted for both of these every time. I think every time.
Best superhero film.
Yeah, I kind of get your point, Harry, in that
I do too, but
like Dark Knight in a way is less superhero-y, but
It's a lot less superhero-y.
it is a Batman movie. And it's Batman and the Joker, and it's like the greatest duel between hero and villain. You know, Joker says it perfectly, like an unstoppable force against an immovable object. And like, I do love Infinity War. Like, I saw it like 2 or 3 times at the cinemas.
Only?
yeah, I saw it 3 times in the cinema. Yeah,
But I think Infinity War has a few more problems. And they both have like really, really good superhero villains. Like Thanos is fucking like just like you said it before, Harry. Like just a tyrant, just a big, powerful. Like watching him fuck up Hulk in like the first 5 minutes. It's like, oh shit! All right, this is on. But The Dark Knight, I watched that the most out of any superhero movie, and so I'm gonna have to go with The Dark Knight.
I do have one question for you. How much is DC paying you? Because Batman won Best Hero and now has also won Best Movie.
Oh my
well, I
God,
think that
that's
just
true.
kind of just
How many
speaks to
digits?
how much of a triumph he's been away from just the simple comic book. He's been around with us. Like people might have been angry at us that Batman beat Bond, but I think if you just look at who did better at their peaks, Batman has done a lot better than every other character at its peaks, I think. And that's simply why it transcends. I think there's like a 90% probability that 100 years from now, Batman will still be a iconic and still in the forefront of pop culture as a character. And I think The Dark Knight has just helped reinforce that for at least another 50 years, honestly. Just because it's such a magnificent, damn near perfect film to me.
We're just going to pray that bubble doesn't burst.
Yeah.
Another chunk of evidence that DC is paying you off is all this talk of Batman and not one mention of the bat nipples.
Right.
Yeah,
no, we don't.
The bubble
Yeah.
was
Credit
almost
card.
burst with those
They
movies.
didn't want us. They didn't want us to mention that.
Makes sense. Well, thank you. I have been your host. You're welcome.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you for carrying us along this journey, Jack.
Yeah, thanks for dragging us
I've
behind.
put a lot of time and effort reading these out and collecting them all from Tyrone's messenger. So thank you.
All right, guys. So there you have it. The Dark Knight is the greatest superhero movie of all time, as of the Young Cynics. Unfortunately, Harry didn't get his way as he tried to bring it down, much like he did last time with a few of his categories. But thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the Young Cynics. I've been Tyrone.
I've been
Adam.
Harry.
You guys got to figure out that timing, and I've been Jack.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Unless we
Bye.
don't. Bye.